Hey guys, welcome back. So a little bit different of a round today. So a lot of you guys have been asking since this past weekend what I thought about the test server and everything, and so I thought I'd share one of the clips, just one of the rounds that I played as I was testing things this past weekend, and some of my opinions and stuff. I usually, if I have time to do these test server ones, I get them out to you guys by Saturday night so that you can, go through and look at stuff and test stuff on the test server yourselves and provide, good feedback. So I'll give you my opinions in order to do that. Yeah, so since since I wasn't planning on doing anything this weekend, I just recorded a bunch, and then if I use footage, I use it or not or whatever. But anyway, so regarding the user interface, I still think that on top, I think that those things need to be more prominent. So where it shows your team and the beacon bar, so this is, so user interface feedback, and then especially your health bar, like up on the top. I think that needs to be a little bit more prominent. But yeah, the biggest question I've been getting from you guys is what I think about the Rhino. Did you see this guy? Like, he's got, I think, spirals and hydras, and he just jumped out into the open for no reason. After we were firing at him, he jumped closer to us. I thought that was funny. The people you get on the test server, always exciting. But anyway, yeah, so the Rhino, lots of fun. However, I don't think it should be this fast, because right now it keeps pace with a Jesse, which can run at 64 kilometers per hour. It'll keep pace with a Jesse just fine. It's just slightly slower. I was trying to see why that guy was shooting at me. And so I think it definitely needs a speed boost. I just don't think it needs one that big. So I think what they could do in the future, in feedback that I've provided, is that instead of it having a top speed of like 60 plus kilometers per hour, that top speed should be a little bit more like 55 kilometers per hour, so that it's not outcompeting all medium and light bots by so much, and then also having its firepower. So I think that needs to happen, or it just needs to have full range of motion with its shield up. or whatever. But yeah, so if they do go the route with still making it faster, I think that the turning velocity needs to be better. So when the shield is up, like instead of going like 5 degrees per second, it should be able to go like 20 degrees per second when the shield is up, or maybe even more. And then the regular walking speed should be more like 35, kind of like it is here on the test server right now. I think it's like 35 or 36. And then the other speed is much bigger, but anyway, it was tons of fun to play with. I really enjoyed it. I think I remember one test server previously with the Rhino running like this, and it was at a time when it would have been ridiculous if it had been released, because the Camelot bots hadn't even been released yet. I don't think, anyway. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. There's lots of buffs to other robots and stuff. You guys can check that out on on the test server Facebook page or several other places, but. Yeah, several other bots were going to get a buff. So the Fujin got a bit of a speed buff. The Carnage's shield regeneration was increased by 200%. And then I think its time to come back was, I can't remember if it was decreased or increased, but something like that. So the shield is getting buffed so that it was a little bit more useful, I think. Not sure if that's necessary or not. I do okay with the Carnage as it is right now, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it would be better off. So that one I'm not 100% on, but that's kind of my initial thoughts on it. My thoughts on the Beacon Rush, I think with the way that they have Beacon Rush right now, I think it's getting pretty close. I think, though, that the cooldown timer, and I heard someone else talking about this the other day too, and I totally agree. I think the cooldown timer for a beacon should be limited, so you can't just have guys like piling out of the beacon like non-stop. I think it needs to be able to be a little bit easier to take it back, because right now, as it is, the game is really fast-paced and everything, and it will still be that way. I think it'll just make it more manageable, so people can actually do some stuff here. So you can see I spawned in my Rhino on purpose here so that I could block the Carnage shield here. I knew that I had that one Rhino left, and so I jumped in so I could flip my shield on as fast as I could. But anyway, yeah, and so there's a lot of other bots that are buffed. Some of the other ones I didn't agree with were buffing the speed and health of the Fury and the Natasha. I can't remember if the Fury got a speed boost too, or if it was just the Natasha, but I don't think that those should be increased. One of the problems with the mid-range stuff is that the bot options for them are a little bit too mobile, I think. Because you think about it, you've got those high damage options on those bots. And then, you know, back in the day, they increased the speed of all of the bots, and it really... That's, I think, where the mid-range meta really started to come into play, was when all of a sudden the Fury was way faster, and then the Natasha was no longer 15 kilometers per hour. It was like, it became like 30 and stuff like that. That really made like a huge difference. That's when I first noticed that the mid-range meta settling in, was when these like obviously positioned mid and long-range bots were placed into that. That's when I started noticing it. So I think that buffing those types of bots further is a mistake. Especially the Natasha, where it's a silver bot and fairly easily purchasable, and in lower levels where it's already kind of like the superpower. Like, as I've played on newer accounts, I've restarted a few accounts and stuff like that. The Natasha with thunders and whatever else on it actually becomes kind of almost like the meta in lower tiers, just because it has so much firepower compared to everything else. It can really do like a ton of damage. So giving it more speed and then 10% more health, I don't know that that's a good idea for that reason, as well as for the you know, mid to end game meta issues that it can cause. So that's kind of my opinion on that. Let me know what you guys think about that, or if you think that might be kind of correct. You see this Rogaka. I think he jumps up here a couple times and tries to get there and fails. Anyway, yeah, so, but back to the beacon rush thing again, like, I think a little bit longer of a cooldown timer, like if you can only have like every 10 seconds or maybe even like every like 20 seconds a beacon can have a member of your team spawn at it, or something like that. It'll have to be played with and tested some more, but that's kind of my thought on it. I'm excited for this game mode. It's fun. It makes pretty much anything you want viable, unless it's like long range gear. Something like this Fury running Zeus, like, they're still powerful, you know, so you can still use these in a game like this, or in a game type like this. But anyway, so that's kind of my thought on it. Let me know what you guys think about the beacon rush. Did you have any other ideas about how to balance it out or anything like that? You guys will have to let me know if you thought about anything or heard anybody else talk about anything. I'd be super interested to hear your thoughts and ideas there. So I'm trying to think like what else. So yeah, we have the Fujin in here. Oh, the Raijin, that's definitely needed a buff for a long time. So it's got a speed boost. I still don't know if it's going to be enough to bring it back. I think the saving grace of the Raijin is actually going to be the beacon rush mode, because you can spawn on a beacon and pop your shield right away, and you can block, you know, several different weapon types. Not every weapon type, but you can block a whole bunch of stuff. So I think that's a good call. I still don't think the Raijin is going to be super useful in higher level, in the higher level game as it is right now. But yeah, so that's my opinion on that. And yeah, so let me know what you guys would like to see more of in the future. I hope this answers a lot of the questions you guys have been seeing. Oh, there's also the damage bonus to physical shields for kinetic weapons. So I think it's a good idea. I don't know that the Punishers need it. They already output so much damage. I don't think that the Punishers should have that added bonus on there as well, especially with the like 300 damage buffs they've given the Punishers recently. I fear that it's gonna just end up getting a nerf pretty soon. So anyway, thanks for checking out the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below about all that stuff. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing day.